We're going to have this. We have about 15, 20 minutes left in the show. We're going to have a little bit of fun. And friend of the show, first time on the show, but just an absolutely amazing guy, Andrew Lemna. I haven't seen him in over a year. He is over at Logan Square Improv. Also, a fantastic person to know. He was my trainer, my coach during my short time at LSI, and he joins us here on Weekend at Gabe's. How are you, sir?
I'm great. It's great to see you, Gabe. It has been too long, and nice to meet you.
That's
as
Sam.
well. I gotta admit, Andrew, I am terrified of you, of improv, of comedy, of acting, all of it. So I am excited to hear what you have in store for us tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's fun. Everyone can do it. It's what I always say, and I actually believe that too. So it'll be fun. You guys are doing scarier stuff right now, just being live on the internet. I mean, that's bigger than being in a small room with only a couple people.
Well, I sent Andrew my little workout clip thing that I did on Sunday, and that people gave me a lot of positive laughter in response to it. So I don't know if we're gonna keep messing around and doing stuff like that. But so some of that stuff was taken from the experience I had at Logan Square Improv of just being naturally yourself and not necessarily trying to be funny, but just be natural. But also, you know, wink, wink, wink to the camera. So that's what I was doing a little bit there. So I can credit you guys for inspiring me to do that, because it's been something I've been thinking about for a while.
I appreciate that. It was a great video too. I feel like that premise is like, man, you go on YouTube or Instagram or anywhere, and it's like everybody's got these insane transformations. I'm like, this is 100% Photoshop for most of these things. Like, there's no way. And I love to like walk for 30 minutes a day for a week, and you like lose 5 pounds. I'm like, all right, that's garbage, but so it resonated with me a lot. I totally see those videos, and I feel like they're garbage. So I liked it a lot.
Yeah, we'll see if I do a follow-up. But they're like, what's the next one going to be? Like, I didn't plan to do a next one. It was just like a spur-of-the-moment thing that I thought of doing. But we'll see if it'll be a series. But how's everything going with Logan Square Improv? With the city sort of slowly opening its doors, obviously the restaurants and bars. Can you give us an update on what the future is of Logan Square Improv for this year?
Yeah, I mean, we shut down back last March when everything kind of closed down in the city. And then obviously like the nature of the proximity of having people in the room sharing a tight space and sharing laughter and stuff is kind of tough. But we're going to come back, like we're going to reopen. And we feel the same way. It's like starting to feel like it's on the horizon. So hopefully in the next couple months, I think today it's probably still too early, just with like where the vaccinations are, where people's comfort level is, or my personal comfort level of like hosting people that tightly packed with like strangers. But we're gonna do it again. We're gonna reopen and hopefully give people, space to come and socialize again after being in their rooms for a year. I know I'm kind of tired of it. I haven't seen my friends in a long time, and I miss just laughing and meeting new people. I mean, meeting you, Gabe, like just doing classes and stuff and making new friends. It's been a lonelier year for everybody, so we all need it a little bit.
Did you try any of the online stuff? I mean, did you guys do the online classes? What was that sort of experience? Because I know everybody sort of dove in there and then realized the pool was actually quite deep.
Yeah, so I did a handful of online stuff. It went pretty well. The key was just kind of to lean into the medium and then kind of improvise, knowing that you were kind of improvising through a Zoom call or something like that. I saw people do that with the most success. And then we did one little project, which was fun in the fall. We brought people into the theater, we had a couple of us masked on filming and just had roommates or people that we knew lived together and did improv for an empty room kind of as an experimental show. And then we edited that and put it on YouTube. So if you look up the LSI show, you can see some of like the stand-up and improvisers that performed at the theater before the pandemic. And then we tried to edit it in a fun way that kind of captured what people do. So yeah, it's tricky though. Kudos to you two for doing this. It's not easy.
The thing about Logan Square Improv is like when because I did it in the fall of 2019, was that that you guys were still fairly young and like to the neighborhood. You guys had just moved in, but the Friday nights which were, or the Thursday and Friday nights, which is where the performances of the classes would go on stage and perform for a live audience. But also there were local comedians who would come in and do 5-7 minute sets, and it felt like you guys were really starting to build fill that void where there wasn't a comedy show on the Northwest side, and you guys were starting to fill that, and then the pandemic kind of cut your guys' legs out from under you. It feels like, that I'm glad to hear that you guys are coming back, because I think that there's a need for comedy, especially at this time, but also for this level of comedy that allows people to come into a space that's open, and because there's so many different kinds of comedians and people who are in these classes to like I said, come together and congregate and meet each other, develop friendships, and just like learn and understand about each other. And I think that like what you guys are doing is so important.
I appreciate that a lot. I mean, thank you. Yeah, the timing was tough because we originally opened in 2018 in a smaller space, kind of more like Avondale on the border of Logan Square.
Yeah.
And we were outgrowing that. We kind of outgrew that and learned some things about. That was our first time like trying to have a theater, so we had some learning curves there, and then got in our new space, and things were starting to roll a little bit when the pandemic hit. So, I mean, we were, I think, a little bit lucky in the sense that we were still pretty kind of young and like new to it, and we still have the energy and we're ready to come back, and taking a year off and thinking about things and just kind of excited to do it again. But yeah, for me, it's like, I don't know, I just feel like there's so much value to like the imperfect nature of what improv and comedy is, especially for a lot of us that are still been doing it for like not very long. Just come together, laughing, trying, and then like just going through that experience together is huge.
I liked what you said about sort of the social aspect of improv. Was sort of a factor that I didn't, like people are coming there. It's like a social gathering, like on top of everything else. Do you foresee rust on the part of people who haven't socialized in a while? That is coming down the road, and it's going to take a couple of weeks to warm up.
100%. I think so. I mean, I know for myself personally, I have it a ton, and I feel like I'm a pretty social guy, but I feel like when I've seen friends I haven't seen for months, the catch up, you do it for a little bit, and even on your walk home, you're like, man, was I weird back there? I'm like, I think we're all thinking that a little bit at some level, So we're all off our game, but that's cool because it's kind of a universal playing field now that like everybody's had to be isolated a little bit. So we're all going to come back, and hopefully everyone's just a bit more empathetic too, and excited to try to, laugh and like make each other feel comfortable. And yeah, improv's fun. It's like a cool thing because it kind of what Gabe was saying at the beginning is it is comedy, but at the same time, it's like, it's a little bit different than that too. It's just kind of being yourself. It's having fun. It's listening. It's making the other person look good. There's a lot of different elements to it besides jokes that make it a really special experience.
The people who were in my class, it was so fascinating because there were college students. I think there were some parents like myself who were in it. Some people who were like hardcore doing like LSI and also Improv Olympics and Second City. They were like trying to like gobble up as many hours of experience. They were like really hardcore into it. And then there are people who are doing like video YouTube series, and they're just trying to like sharpen their skills. It's so fascinating to see who comes to the class and what their background is and what's motivating them to do it. And some people are just like, I'm just trying to better communicate with people, which is obviously a skill that's in short supply before the pandemic, but now even more so now. So it's super fascinating to see that. And we got a few more minutes with you, Andrew, before we get into. I hope you have something planned for us, because I'm really excited. But to motivate people to get into, who cares if it's LSI or somewhere else? But
motivate me. I'm the guy.
Tell Sam to do this class or to take a somewhat of a acting improv class. Sell Sam.
Absolutely. All right. So Sam, is your hesitation that most people have is that they think I'm not funny, and that like I'm afraid to get up on stage in front of people. And is that where you're coming from, or what's kind of your hesitation?
I have sort of an I'm not funny thing going. I actually think I am funny, but it's when I try to be that I become massively unfunny.
Right? Well, if you're aware enough to realize that, then you already like, that's all you need to know for improv. Like the less you're trying to be funny and the more you're just kind of listening and reacting, the better it goes. I would say take one class. Even if you don't think it's for you, I think everybody should take one class one time, even if maybe it doesn't. I've had people have taken classes and they're like, that was terrifying. I didn't really like it, but I'm still glad I did that experience. But the other 99% are like, this is really fun. I want to take another class. Or like, I made a new friend. This is dope. I feel good about myself. I just performed in front of an audience and had a great time. So I would say, if not at LSI, find someplace to do it or take an acting class or whatever. But I never did acting growing up myself. Never did theater. Took an improv class when I moved to Chicago in my 20s. And I was like, okay, this is cool. And then it led me to where I am now. So.
All right, I'll commit to it. I'll commit to it. You've sold me live on air, and I will do the improv. One class. One class.
That's all it takes. Yeah. If it's not for you, you don't have to do it again.
Drag my girl along to do it with me, but one class.
Yeah. Yeah, do it with. That's also fun too. Is take classes with people. I always love when people come in with like siblings, like spouses, friends. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a social thing. So like, coming in with a little bit of comfort isn't a bad thing either.
Right.
All right, Andrew, do you have something for us, like some sort of just example of doing some improv that we could do tonight?
Well, that's what I was actually thinking. So a good transition to try an improv now. I thought maybe we could do a little short improv set for everybody. And I'll kind of watch, and I won't coach or anything, but I'll give you guys maybe a setup, and then we can go through it. So, Gabe, what are kind of some of the things that you remember from improv as far as like what makes like a good scene, or what's a good way to kind of start a scene out? Not to put you on the spot.
Let's see. Sort of like a fish out of water type thing, like somewhere you've never been before. You know, just like trying to adapt and understand that. Those are really good sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a bubble. Why am I in a bubble? How did I get here? So
yeah, setting yourself up in a situation where you know the location's huge, working with your scene partner. So for the two of you, maybe at the beginning, kind of trying to establish who you are to each other. So say maybe give each other a name or set up who you are and then where you are, and then work together. That's what I always say. So if Gabe says, you know, we're at the ocean, be like, oh man, we're at the ocean and there are sharks everywhere. And Gabe's like, oh my God, there's a shark right there. So it's just one idea, take it, build another one, and go from there. You guys want to try it?
Let's do it.
All right, perfect.
He's got me this far.
So I'm going to make this easy. I'm going to give you guys the setup. So all you get to do is play. So let's say that you two are best friends from high school. You're both in your first year of college and you're doing a Zoom call to each other to catch up about how your first couple weeks of college are going so far. So your best friends, you're on the Zoom call. Take it away.
Hey, Sam, how's it going?
Dude, it's going great, dude. College is amazing.
Is it really?
Lots of good stuff going on, man. Have you heard all of this new music coming out?
It's amazing. Listen, at the University of Mississippi, there's nothing but folk music down here, and the new sound is phenomenal. I can't wait to bring back these tapes because they don't get internet down here. So I'll bring those back when we meet back in person.
Yo, that's so crazy because out here at the University of Hawaii, it's just all luau music. Top 10 hits, though. You know, they're playing it every single island.
I'm so glad that you got a scholarship to U of H, and I got a bunch of loan debt at the University of Mississippi. But I think it's cool down here too, though.
Well, you know, I think there's benefits to being down at the University of Mississippi when your parents are brother and sister. It really, you know, they offer scholarships for things like that. Am I wrong?
There's not a lot of that going on or at all, really. But, you know, I can understand your perception is a little weary about that. But, you know, I'm glad that. Have you seen Obama surfing in Hawaii lately with Michelle and Sasha?
You know, they do a loop of the island every morning. And it's Sasha first, and then, you know, Papa Obeezy and the rest of them come around. And then, you know, my favorite is, you know, right around noontime, if you stand on the quad and you lay out, the dogs come around one by one, wake skiing on jet skis. So that's, you know, this is a big benefit. You know, there's a lot of sun out here. There's a lot of water. But the Obamas on jet skis, you just can't get that anywhere else in the world.
Not at all. The only time I go to the beach is when I actually take a bath, because that's as close to the water as we can get. So
is that Is that a swampy thing down in Mississippi, or it's cool?
There's a lot of warning signs set up everywhere, so I tried to stay away from that. But yeah, just bathtub, and imagine myself on the beach somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you got to come visit, man. You got to come visit.
Indeed. Is that scene, Andrew?
That's it. That's it. I love it. That's a little bit of love and friendship at the end. I love that. But I mean, that was great. You get some fun details in there, establish what schools you're at, then you have some fun information, and then obviously you guys care about each other because you're friends. Boom, huge. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Sam, I think you did that really well. So I think you're underselling yourself.
I have a problem. Acting was one of the first classes I took at college, funnily enough, off of that situation. And I just have a really hard time when people say funny things, not laughing myself. And there were people in that class, and I was like, how do you stay straight? And the guys are like, oh, yeah, I do baseball stats. Baseball stats. My mind goes to baseball stats. And I've tried that. I've tried biting my tongue. I've tried absolutely everything. But I can't do it. I just can't do it. Do you have any tips for keeping a straight face, Andrew?
The best tip for a straight face, I've heard a lot of times just people turn against the back wall for a second, or kind of muffle their face to regroup. But also, I'd say lean into it too. I mean, if you're having fun and I'm watching you two make each other laugh, I'm laughing too. So especially for improv, I'd say if you're starting to have a good time, lean into it harder and let yourself enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Andrew, thank you so much for giving us your time. I appreciate it. It's a long time overdue. I know we've been trying to find you, and you're really busy out there doing the good people's work. Please keep us posted when you guys reopen your doors. I'd love to announce it and have you guys back to talk more about the reopening. I can't wait.
Appreciate that. Thanks for having me on tonight. It was fun. It was good to do a little bit of improv and get to see it. So
exactly,
fun show, and appreciate it. And yeah, we'll be back. Come swing by. Say nice to meet you, taking class.
I've got the IOU. I will see you soon, sir.
All right. I love it.
All right. Andrew Lemna here joining us on Weekend at Gabe's. Enjoy the rest of your evening, sir.
You as well.
All right. That's going to be our time tonight on Weekend at Gabe's. The real Sam Crane. See, it didn't go so bad. It's actually pretty fun.
It wasn't so horrible, man. I think I won't be doing stand-up comedy anytime soon, but I do feel a little bit comfortable in my own skin after tonight.
I don't know if the people of Mississippi will appreciate your little jab at them.
They didn't like that jab, huh? I couldn't resist. You said it in Mississippi. That was your fault.
The little incest going on. I don't know. I'm going to stay away from that. But what we're not going to stay away from is you, because tomorrow night we have a special show lined up. It's going to be fantastic. D2X is going to be joining us, as well as Tim Barnes, writer for the Jimmy Fallon Show. You heard that correctly. The Jimmy Fallon Show.
What a show tomorrow night. And we're making an entirely new day, Wednesday at Gabe's.
Well, for 1 week at least.
For 1 week at least. Wednesday at Gabe's. So we might continue it. I kind of like Wednesday at Gabe's. I made that up just now. I might feed that a little bit of my time and energy.
Well, we'll see how it goes, But anyways, big show tomorrow night. So join us right back here on Twitch TV /
One more thing to plug. Audius.co tomorrow, SoundCloud.com tomorrow, The Real Sam Crane. Going live, the Audius mix, 30 minutes of music. I've set it up today. It is ready to go. And the artwork for tomorrow's episode is Pokemon themed, and it's fantastic. So tune in. Keep locked on my Instagram at The Real Sam Crane, at The Real Sam Crane on all social media platforms.
There you go. That's going to be our show tonight. Please have a great Tuesday. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow night. And then also be back on Friday night. Remind me again who's coming on by on Friday?
We got Loop Theory's own Steve Navarro. And that is going to be a huge conversation. They're coming out with a Loop Theory distribution platform for independent artists. And Loop Theory, if y'all are not familiar, are just one of the most efficient teams working together, making this vision, this beautiful tapestry they're weaving together with Olive Blue, Dre Isaiah, Brittany Carter. And, it just seems like they can't miss lately. I'm excited to talk to him about that. We're excited to talk to him about his rap career. We were supposed to have Carl from Online. Unfortunately, due to work scheduling conflicts, he will be on the following Friday. but we will have more guests for you on Weekend at Gabe's. So help me God.
Listen, next Tuesday, Dono Jones is scheduled to come by.
Yeah.
If you don't know who Dono Jones is, I'm gonna give you a full week
to get up on Dono Jones,
and then it's gonna if everything goes to plan, it's the duet with Dono Jones is gonna be phenomenal.
Word.
I am excited for the next week of shows, so don't miss it. Right here on Weekend at Games. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night, everyone. Talk to you soon.